Hello everybody, this is George Lopez here in Alice Ed Tech, and in this screencast I will go ahead and show you how to create a Google site from start to finish. A couple of little disclosures. Number one is this is not going to be this is an example of my first Google site. It's not going to be beautiful, so it's not going to be as nice as I would like it to be, but it's a start that'll show you how to use most of the tools in Google Sites. In addition to that, I want to let you know that I've had a lot of practice with Google Sites, and I also have already an idea of what my website's going to look like and the content that's going to be on it. So when you have those pieces in place, creating your first Google website is usually a pretty seamless process. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. There's different ways. Just remember also that Google usually has more than one way of doing things. So I'm going to go ahead and try to demonstrate how to do these things in the simplest way so that you can follow along. All right, so with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and get started in your Google Drive, and to start a new Google site, you will go ahead and click New, click More, and then go down to Google Sites. It will kind of go ahead and launch the template on here. Once you get into Google Sites, the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and name the site. So we're going to call this site My First Google Site. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and name my home page. To name the home page based on the PD that I did, we're going to go ahead and name it. The name of my homepage is going to be my name. So in this case, whoops, better spell it right, George Lopez. That'll be the name of my homepage. Now I have my website here ready to set up and ready to add content. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to change themes, because while Google Sites doesn't have as many options as some of the other Google tools, they do keep adding things, and themes are something that you may want to do to help you. So if you take a look on the navigation bar for Google Sites, here on the right hand side, we have Insert, Pages, and Themes. We want to go ahead and go to Themes. You have a few options on here. We're going to go ahead and change the theme to Diplomat. And what that does is it changes the font, the coloring, just some font style type of little changes on there. But, you know, it's a quick way to change the theme for your whole Google site. I'm going to go ahead and change mine to blue. There we go, being one of my favorite colors. So now I have gone ahead and named my website, titled my homepage, and have changed the theme. Let's get to the good stuff, which is inserting content. So you want to go ahead and go to the tab that says Insert. All right, and you have a bunch of options here on the right hand side. The first thing that I want to show you how to do is insert an image. So I'm going to click insert an image on here, and I have options on here. I can either go ahead and upload an image from my desktop, or I can select an image from my Google Drive or from the internet. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm not going to upload. I'm going to go ahead and click select. And here's my options. I can insert stuff from Google Drive, or I can go ahead and search the internet. In this case, I'm going to search the internet, and I like searching within Google Sites because it gives me access to images that I have permission to use in my website. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and look for an image of one of my favorite places on earth. So in this case, it's Cancun, Mexico. So here we go. I have a whole bunch of images that showed up. I'm going to go ahead and pick the first one on here. After I select it, and you can select more than one, by the way. Notice the arrows show up on here. I'm just going to go ahead and insert one and click select. And once I do that, it inserts the image just like that. All right, so now I have added an image to my home page. The next activity here is I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box. So to do that, once again, I'm in the Insert tab. There's the T for text box. When I click that, it automatically adds a text box at the bottom. And you notice you have some options on here as to the text size, bold, italics, alignment, and so forth. Not as many options as other Google Docs, but you do have some options on here. So for the purpose of practice here, I'm going to go ahead and write a little description as to why I picked Cancun as one of my favorite places on earth. Here we go. Actually, let's go ahead and start with Cancun is one of my favorite places on earth because, there we go. And for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I would go ahead and continue if I wanted to, but there I have now inserted an image and also a text box. All right. that being said, let's go to the next task on here, which is to add a Google Doc from my Google Drive. So to do that, I have a couple of options. Number one is if you know the type of Google Doc you want to insert from your Google Drive, you can select it here from the right-hand side. Notice I have docs, slides, sheets, forms, etc. Or you can also access them by scrolling up to the top and selecting from my Google Drive. I'm going to go ahead and select it from there. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick a Google Doc that's easily accessible. There we go. How about this one? And once I select it, I click Insert, and it adds it to your the web page right there. These circles here allow me to these little dots on here allow me to resize it. Notice I can go ahead and resize it, both horizontal and vertical. So here I have I can select the size. I'm not going to manipulate that too much, but that's what that does. If you grab it from the corner here, it allows you to go ahead and manipulate both vertical and horizontal at the same time. There we go. All right, so that's how you resize content once you add it onto your home page. Finally, we all know how powerful a video can be and what it can teach us. So with that, we have the options here to being able to add a YouTube video, or perhaps even a video from your computer or from your Google Drive, so you can insert videos into your web page. I'm going to go ahead and in this case insert a YouTube video. Here I would have the option to upload a video if I have a different one, but I'm actually going to go ahead and search YouTube for one of my favorite videos. It's called Pep Talk by Kid President. Okay, there it is. That's the one I want. I select it, click the blue select button, and it inserts it right into my web page. So here's what we have so far. Okay, all right. Just for practice purposes, I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box so I can go ahead and show you how to move content around a web page. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Insert tab, click Insert Text Box, and I'm going to go ahead and explain why I picked this video. The video Pep Talk by Kid President has always been a hit with students and teachers, etc. So again, for the purpose of time, I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Now, if I want to relocate content on a web page, I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I click over the content, you see these icons show up over here on the left-hand side that give you some options. I'm looking, getting the garbage can to throw it away, to duplicate it, to change the background color, and so forth. I'm looking at these little dots. When these little dots show up, if you grab the content from there, it allows you to move it up and down. Notice how I can move it, I'm moving it around. For example, I could go ahead and grab this text box and drag it and put it above the video. Now you see it above. Go ahead and drag it, put it down below the video again, and now we have it back at the bottom. However, I could also, this whole area, let's say this text box had to do with this video, I could go ahead and add some stuff here on this blank area. To do that, you don't want to grab it from these dots. You want to click on the text, and then you want to go ahead and grab the text there. So watch how I'm grabbing it now, and now I can go ahead and move this text box to be right beside my video. So there we go. I could put it there, or if I wanted to, I could also put it on the left-hand side of the video. Notice how it shows up there. Now my text is beside the video. So good. That hopefully gave you a good idea as to how you can move content around a web page so that it meets your needs and whatever you would like to have on there. Okay, that's how you reposition your content. Moving on to the next piece, you may also want to add additional pages to your website. In order to do that, you have to go up here to the three tabs on here, Insert, Pages, Themes. So I'm going to go ahead and click Pages, and then it will take you to this, it will change, and notice that the only page I have on my website is called Home. So to add an additional page, I'm going to go ahead and click this plus, and notice how it changes, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new page. This new page, I want to go ahead and rename it. Like in my training, I'm going to go ahead and name this page My education, click done. It creates the new page. It puts the title of your new page as my education. You will notice that here on the right hand side, I have two pages on my site. I have my home page and I have my education page. You see it there, and you also see it up here in the navigation bar. So I can click on home to navigate to home, or I can click on the web page that is my education. I have added that on there, new web page. So now let's go ahead and move forward and add some content. So this web page is about me and it's about my education. So what I want to go and insert here is I want to go ahead and insert an image of from where I did my college work. So I have two ways of doing this. Remember, I can go ahead and click here to insert. Or if I click on an empty area where there's no content and double click on it, 1, 2, notice what shows up. The same icons that you see here up here on the right hand side also show up that in this little wheel on here. So that's another way to do it. So again, double click on it, 1, 2, and see how it shows up. To get rid of it, just click away from it and it'll disappear. I'm going to go ahead and do it the way that I showed you though. I'm going to go ahead and insert an image, and this image is actually going to be uploaded. Instead of selecting it from the internet or from my Google Drive, I'm going to upload it from my desktop. So I'm going to click upload. I have a folder here already that already has all these documents. There it is. There's the San Jose State logo there. There, I have now added it to my, I've already added it to my new web page, to my education web page. If I want to rearrange it, I can click on it and then just drag it and center it in the middle. Notice how here the little the guide bars show up, blue guide bars show up at the bottom of the screen. I can let it go, and there I have now centered my icon for San Jose State where I did my undergraduate work. Again, in order to keep the practice going on here, I want to go ahead and insert a little bit of, I want to insert a text box that talks a little bit about my my education. So I'm going to go ahead and click, I'm under the insert tab, click the text box, and now I have my text box on here. And I can go ahead and start typing my content. I completed my undergraduate work at San Jose State University with a focus on, anyway, there you go. For, again, for the purpose of this demonstration, I am going to go ahead and stop right there. And now I have added a new web page, an image to my new web page, and then I've added a text box. All right. So now that you've seen here that I can add, that we have my home page and we have my education page, you may also be asked to add, you may want to add a sub page. So to do that, you want to go ahead and select the page where you want to, page where you want to add the sub page. So either under home or under education. I'm going to go ahead and choose under education, my education here, and I'm going to go ahead and go to pages, and I want to go ahead and click the insert on here. So instead of coming down here and putting new page, instead I'm going to go to where you see my education. You see the three dots that appeared on the right hand side there? Click there and you will have options such as making that your home page, duplicating it. I'm looking to add a sub page, so I'm going to click on here. It's going to ask you what do you want to name the sub page. So like in my training, I'm going to go ahead and name my sub page the location, the school where I got my first teaching assignment. So in this case, it was at Martin Luther King Jr. Academy. Okay, that's where I got my first teaching position. Click done. And now I have created a sub page. So I know that this is a sub page because you will notice here on the right hand side that we have my education, and then indented some is the sub page Martin Luther King Jr. Academy. I also know that this is a sub page, but because if I click up here, you will see here's home, and then when I click on my education, this little drop down arrow here tells me that there's a sub page underneath. So I'm going to go to my navigate to my sub page, Martin Luther King Jr. Academy. There it is. So piece I want to do, I want to add some content to this web page on here, and in my video I had you add an image that, that was connected to your first teaching assignment. So we're going to go ahead and do that, moving from pages over to insert. I'm going to go ahead and insert here. So I'm going to click images. Okay, and I'm actually going to go ahead and select an image, and I'm going to select an image from my Google Drive. So I'm going to click there, and I'm looking for an image. Actually, I'm looking for a folder that has the school logos. So search for logos here. Oops, that's a folder there. So here we are, AUSD school logos, and I'm going to find the MLK. Here we go, mascot there. Select it, and now I have here my MLK. The logo of where I had my first teaching assignment. So one more thing I want to do is, again, just to continue the spiral review here, let's add a text box, and I'm going to go ahead and type a little description about my first teaching assignment. I received my first teaching assignment in the Alisal Union School District at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Academy. There we go. Done, done, done. I could go ahead and continue with that. Again, for the sake of time, we're going to stop there. Now I have a sub page with an image and a text box. I'm going to go ahead and, remember, practice rearranging this. I want this, since this text box is about my work at MLK, I'm going to go ahead and drag this text box to sit beside the MLK icon there. There you go. Now I have rearranged the text box to sit beside my image that I inserted. All right, there you go. So you've learned how to start a website, how to add images, text boxes, Google Drive documents, YouTube videos. You've learned how to add additional web pages and even a sub page on a web page. So now that we have that, we're ready to move on to the next section here. And in this case, I want to go ahead and maybe sometimes I want to collaborate with somebody. You might want to collaborate with your whole grade level. So you might have a grade level website, Google site, or perhaps, maybe as a team, or perhaps just with another teacher, you want to go ahead and collaborate with resources. So to do that, you want to go ahead and click the share button. Remember, the share button on Google is usually the person with the little plus button. And in this case, this window will pop up afterwards. If I wanted to share this with my director, Josh Harris, I could go ahead and do that. Josh Harris, notice his name pops up. And I could go ahead and give him edit privileges. And that's what you want, because you want to be able to collaborate. However, if I just wanted to let him be able to view the web page, the published web page, I could also select that. I want him to be able to collaborate. So I'm going to leave it as being able to edit files directly. I could send him an email letting him know that I would like to collaborate on this or not. And then once I've selected that, I could go ahead and click send, and it would be shared with him. I do not want to send him additional spam, so I'm going to go ahead and not click send. But that is how you would collaborate with one of your colleagues on a web page, or perhaps with your team, with your grade level on a web page. All right. So finally, your web page is done. So what happens, what do you do when your web page is done? Well, a couple of things. If you want to take a look what your web page looks like, the beautiful thing about Google Sites is that it allows you to take a look at what it might look like on people's devices. So up here, there's a little icon that shows preview. When you click on that, this is what the website would look like. I can go to home here, take a look, what does my home site look like? So here we go. This is what my home page would look like. But what I wanted to show you is that if you click down here, you can take a look. What is it going to look like on a phone? Well, this is what it's going to look like on a phone, my web page. Take a look at the navigation bar here. Go to my education. This is what my education web on a phone. Or I can go ahead and select what it's going to look like on a tablet, and then what it's going to look like on a computer. Okay, when you're done previewing it, you can go ahead and click the X, and it'll take you back to your editing options. Preview is something that I do a lot because I want to make sure that my website looks really good, both on especially on a phone and a computer. Those are the two main ways that people access the internet nowadays. So I figure I want to see what it looks like for them. All right. So now my website is done. I like the way it looks. I've previewed it. I'm going to go ahead and publish it. So to publish it, you click this blue icon here, publish. And you're going to see this dialog box that pops up. So what it does is it checks your organization. So our organization, our website to our organization is down here at the bottom. So the address for my site is going to be sites.google.com/alisal.org/ and then whatever I name my web page. I'm going to name my web page, in this case, PD example. Okay, and what it does is, as you're typing it, Google is searching your organization, in this case alisal.org, making sure that there's not another website already titled PD example. And if there is, it'll be in red and it won't let you publish it. But if it's okay, hasn't been taken up, you click. You'll see this check mark here telling you it's okay, and you could literally click the publish button, and that would go ahead and publish your website. Now, when you publish a website, there may be times when you only want your organization to see it, and there may be times when you want the whole world to see it. So to manage that, you need to go ahead and click where it says Manage, and it'll bring up this dialog box. And this will tell me on here, right now, if I publish my website, it'll be published so that anyone in Alisal School District can find and view. There may be times when I do just want to keep it internally, but there's times when I want to go ahead and share it out with the rest of the world. I want to share the knowledge out to the rest of the world with a genuine audience. So I can click change, and then I have three options. Anyone in the world can view the published website, or anyone in Alisal, or only certain people. In this case, it's anybody in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, click save, and now I come here and it says that once I hit done and publish, it will be published and anyone in the world can find and view. Go ahead and click done, and that would publish my website. Okay, so I haven't published it yet. I click done. I still need to come here and hit publish before it goes out to everybody else. There will be times when where you may want to give your web address to somebody. So where do you get your web address from? Well, you can get it right from here. So if I have a classroom website and I want students and parents to be able to view it, I would give them this address, sites.google.com/alisal.org and PD example. Okay, so that would be the website that I would give them. There is ways to go ahead and change that or decrease that, but that is a different training. All right, I hope that this video has been helpful as I've taken you on a little process here of starting your Google site from beginning to end, from starting your site to publish. If you have any additional questions or comments, you know where to find me. Thank you and have a great day.